Now, as the world opens the crucial climate change summit, India says the developed world must act on its words and pledge to strive for a balanced, just, and equitable agreement to limit global warming. India is being looked upon as one of the countries at the summit that can make or break a deal. Our correspondent Shweta Bajaj tells us more.
As nearly 150 world leaders, including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, gather in Paris to reach a deal to limit carbon emissions, India's priority remains getting its people out of poverty. India's Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said the country is looking to the conference with a positive mindset and is hopeful the developing world won't be forgotten when key decisions are being made.
We are going to Paris for the climate conference with hope and with progressive and proactive stance, because we will not be opposing, but we will be proposing the real changes needed to ensure that we have balanced growth and we have balanced environment.
The Paris summit's aim is to reach a climate pact to limit global warming to 2 degrees Celsius by curbing fossil fuel emissions. But India maintains that the developed world is using 2/3 of the available carbon space, and they should now be providing carbon space for the developing countries. Despite this stance, India has massive problems. Its air is dangerous and its water, in many cases, undrinkable. According to the World Health Organization, air pollution is the world's largest environmental health risk, with 13 out of the 20 most polluted cities in the world in India, and number 1 being this very city, Delhi. Meanwhile, rising temperatures mean India's Himalayan glaciers are melting and its farmland is becoming arid, all in the midst of unpredictable, often extreme weather. A recent report by the Centre of Science and Environment says the impact of climate change on India's agricultural sector is more evident than ever. But millions of small and marginal farmers do not have enough safeguards. The last few years have seen extreme weather patterns in India, taking the areas affected by freak weather events to 18.33 million hectares in 2015 from 0.35 million hectares in 2013. And this is having a massive impact on India's economy. More than 60% of country's population is directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture.
When there are extreme weather events that are happening because of global warming or because of climate change, as we say, there can be changes in cyclone patterns. There can be extreme weather events that have happened, like in March we had a hailstorm. In Chennai we have seen recently how there have been unseasonal rains. So all these are effects of climate change, and when most of your population is dependent on agriculture, it makes a major role when the monsoon is affected.
50% of India's emissions come from burning coal, but despite that, India will triple its production of coal by 2030 to provide electricity to 300 million people currently living without it. To mitigate this, India has set an ambitious target of producing 100 gigawatts of solar energy by 2022, a nearly 25-fold increase from its current production level. But coal will still remain India's biggest bane. 1/3 of the world's underprivileged live in India, and the country needs massive energy to power new industries and jobs to pull the millions out of poverty. But climate change has definitely become an urgent issue which needs immediate attention. Getting the right balance will be crucial. Shweta Bajaj, CCTV, New Delhi.